You see these little things here? We all know how widespread the current pandemic of vape addiction is, but what I really want to know is this ruining my progress in the gym? Lucky for you guys, I've done the hard work for you. I've summarized all the meaningful studies out there, as well as collated a bunch of anecdotal evidence for how this affects our progress with our physique and our strength gains. Now, before we absolutely demonize these little things and pull apart what's actually in it, I want to see if we can hit 500 likes in this video. It's free. You can always take it back if you don't like the video towards the end, but please smash that like button, help push out these tips to more people. Thank you. Alrighty, so for us to really get to the bottom of if this is affecting your gym progress, we need to understand what is actually in it. There's quite a few big scientific jargon terminology, so I've got my sheet here with all the research I've conducted to make sure I'm giving you guys the right facts. So firstly, what's in a vape and what is it that makes it addictive? Basically, a vape is this device that spits out artificial air that tastes like the most delicious fruit concoction you've ever tasted, and you just want to keep sucking it because of the ingredients in there. It's just this vicious addiction cycle. As a wise man once said, don't breathe vape, breathe air. So I've done some research, and basically there's 4 main ingredients inside this evil little item. So number 1, you have flavoring. Obviously that's what's going to make it taste like the most delicious fruit smoothie you've ever tried. I mean, what's this? Passion fruit, mango, lime. Like, that is quite a few words in there. I don't know how they've done that, and I can assure you that is not real fruit. Secondly is the one that's going to get you hooked, and that's nicotine. Probably the most important thing in this that makes you want to keep going for a suck. Then we have like some chemicals with some longer names. We have glycerin and proline glycol. I hope for the scientists in the chat I'm pronouncing that right. But basically what this does is they mix the two in like 50-50, 60-40 splits. And this is what gives it that texture and will determine the kind of thickness of the vapor cloud. So when you see Vape Nation, people going and it's blowing out little rings and all sorts of cool shapes, I believe that is what determines that. Apparently these chemicals here are actually safe for human consumption. They just sound a little bit hectic in regards to the mixes and potential ingredients and some of the other stuff. So basically you have 4 main ingredients. You have the flavoring, the nicotine, the glycerin, and the propylene glycol. Now, I really want to talk a little bit about nicotine because the nicotine addiction cycle is seriously vicious. I've been there myself. It's so hard when you're in the depths of the trenches trying to get yourself out of the nicotine reward cycle. Nicotine is up there with some of the most addictive drugs in the world. I'm talking heroin, probably methamphetamine. It is way more addictive than alcohol and other common drugs. Basically, what happens when you suck on one of these is it releases the neurotransmitter called dopamine. Watch some Dr. Andrew Huberman stuff on that. He explains it super well. But you get this little dopamine hit every time a suck of this hits your brain. Now, what dopamine does is it's not the neurotransmitter of pleasure, it's actually the neurotransmitter that gives you motivation to go and do things because you think there's going to be a reward at the end, and you think, hey, I need to clutch onto my vape here to suck it because that'll give me a hit of dopamine. Might be the same with FIFA Ultimate Team packs or buying Fortnite V-Bucks. Now, you've probably had a friend whose vape is absolutely glued to their hand. They're sucking all throughout the day, and they try to quit and the withdrawals are absolutely brutal. There's some great resources out there if you do want to quit, such as, I believe his name is Alan Carr, and that should be How to Quit Vaping. I listened to the audio book on it. It should be on Audible. Now, I think it's pretty obvious to all of us that vapes aren't going to be the healthiest thing ever, but the issue is because they're so recent, there aren't any super meaningful, conclusive clinical studies out there. Now, I did check my government's website, and that is the same government that recommended that you need 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body mass. So I don't really take their word for it, but apparently there are some really poisonous chemicals inside these vapes. On this list, we have cleaning products, nail polish remover, weed killer, and bug spray. So you're getting a little bit more bang for your buck when you're sucking on one of these vapes. We also have increased risk of depression and anxiety. It has also been linked to lung disease. Okay, so now for the interesting bit about how vaping can potentially affect your recovery and your progress in the gym. So basically, vaping, smoking, everything in that regard contributes to a higher blood pressure as well as a sustained higher heart rate. This is actually going to hold you back from maximum performance, as we want to be able to perform at higher levels but with a lower heart rate. That's just showing our body is capable of handling that stress. Effectively, toking on a few vapes through the day isn't going to be helping with that. So that automatically there is not going to allow you to perform at a higher level. If you're playing a sport, going for a run, doing some circuit-based training, you know, doing some intense sets in the gym, your lungs are going to be flaming up. It's going to feel like sandpaper through there. Lighting a few matches with some kindling, like it's going to be rough as hell. You're going to feel absolutely gassed because your lung capacity isn't actually going to be that good. Whereas picture this, you're a fit Sigma male, you go for runs every day, you know, you can be running a 6-7 minute 2K and you're absolutely jacking onto the gym. Your body and your lung capacity is going to be so much better. You're going to be recovering like an absolute beast. Breathe air, not vape, be a Sigma. Now this next point number 3, it is your appetite and how nicotine actually suppresses your appetite. Appetite is so important to that. You need to be eating like a beast. You need to be getting around 200 grams of protein per day, eating in a marginal caloric surplus to actually be growing. Build yourself some absolutely house deltoids, you know, blow up that bench press, hit 140 kilos. You can't be eating like a bird. Now, if you're a young kid out there, 15, 16, you're in school, all the kids are going to the bathrooms to have a cheeky toke on the vape, I would implore you to do the opposite. Start bringing your home cooked lunches with some protein, some nutrients, some whole foods in there. You should be really taking up good habits like training hard, eating good food, getting good sleep, and get that nicotine and vape rubbish away from you. Now, there isn't a clinical study out there saying that vapes reduce testosterone, but I would say there is probably a fair link that vape smoking is not going to exactly raise testosterone. So vapes, there's even a chance that this thing reducing my testosterone, I'm not going to be having it because that is just not leaving any stone unturned. Why would you do this if it's going to potentially take away from that? Now, I've gone through a bit of a stage, particularly when I was in America, you know, with all the boys over there having a few vapes going out a bit, and I did get hooked to it. And I can tell you anecdotally, there is another downside of vapes, and that is my work ethic. When I wake up, you know, have a vape, or throughout the day having a few vapes, my motivation and work ethic is not going to be as good. I feel like these things actually take away from your energy. I'm not as energized, so I really don't think I'm going to be getting the most out of my days when I am on this. And that leads me on to my next point. I don't have my head in the sand. I know people are going to be out at parties and stuff, and it might be hard to kind of reject or stay off. So my rule is, like, you don't want it to seep into like a habit that you're doing during the week or during the day. So just keep it at that is my recommendation if you are going to do it. It's a similar mindset that a lot of professional athletes take. A lot of football players, you know, like they'll have a drink when they go out, a few of them on the vapes, and they still perform at very elite levels. So I seriously don't believe that if you have a toke or two, you should beat yourself up over it. Just keep it at that and train hard during the week. Bit of sushi. Gonna go hit abs and then hit the sauna. A lot of people ask where I get these tops from. It's actually my own apparel brand. Check the link in description to it. These ones sell out. Last time I sold it down in the hour, and this is a new colorway. All right, we're hitting the sauna. Might be a bit foggy. Side note, if you are trying to quit nicotine and you're hooked on it, good little way to do it is to hop in the sauna, just keep sweating it out. I think after a few days, the nicotine is out of your system, you're sweating out those toxins, you're feeling good, and you can actually really make a change. In conclusion, I think if your sole goal is to be strong and have a mad physique, vaping probably isn't going to have the most severe effect on that, but I want all of us, I want all the subscribers, I want everyone watching this video, all of the fans to be healthy individuals. I don't want you getting puffed out running up the stairs. I want you to still be able to run good times around a 2-kilometer track, and smoking artificial air is not going to be conducive with that. As a wise man said, just breathe air. Guys, if you did get something out of this video, please leave a like, leave a comment down below on how you're enjoying these videos or any feedback for how to make them better. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and thanks so much guys for watching.